I might jump in.
Okay. Hey guys, what's good? Back after the game here with my boy Ethan. Say what's good.
What's going on?
Just wanted to shout out our sponsors, Miracle Bowl, Carrick Home Design, Frankie Jane, and Save Damien. But with that being said, what do you think about what happened this weekend?
It was awesome. That was so cool. Because, I mean, preparing for the game the entire week,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same on defense. Because on offense, I was like, this can be a good team. A lot of transfers, a lot of defensive transfers.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be good. We expect them to be good. Like, just right out the gate, Puka, 75 yards. That was insane.
Electric.
I was like,
That's electric.
it didn't even feel real.
Yeah.
I was standing on the side, and I'm like, what the freak just happened?
Literally. Yeah. The whole, actually, like, at the end was, like, the second that it really set in. I was like, oh, we're winning the game, whatever. And then when we sang, I remember we sang regardless win-loss or over there, and I was like, oh, I got to sing it again. And then everybody was going to give high fives to the fans. I was like, what are we doing? And they're like, oh, you run around and give high fives to everybody. And I was like, we just won. I was like, dude, this is a great feeling. And my arm was getting tired, and I was like, oh, but I'm going to keep doing
Yeah,
this.
bro,
This
your
is
shoulder, you're up there like,
oh,
thanks,
God.
thanks. And like,
Yeah.
people are like, oh, sign my flag. I'm like, you don't know who I am. But okay, that's cool. I got a helmet on. That's what they want. I'll do that.
Yeah, no, that was a really cool experience. I mean, honestly, just like you said, like the transfers and everything that we expected them to come out there and just, their offensive coordinator was from West Virginia, and we were like, okay, maybe they're gonna come out and sling it. They got a lot more people that can, get the ball around the field, and then they went in there and they ran the ball 70% of the game, down 45 points, and we were like, what's happening? And we didn't get thrown to on the outside not one time the whole game. They attacked 17 passes, or either what's it called, wide receiver screens or to the running back screen or down the middle of the football field. So I felt like the game was just like kind of like slow.
Well, I mean, pick six, start of the game. That can't help.
Exactly.
You're like, you throw one ball, they read it like a book. Max Lee, boom, picks it 30 some odd yards, 40 some odd yards. Like,
exactly.
that just shatters your confidence as an offense.
Yeah, and especially like him coming in, big time recruit from Baylor. They named him starter right away, and they had that other quarterback transfer away. I bet you he was like at home sitting and laughing, like, haha, this is the guy that you put in instead of me. But what'd you think about the offense performance?
Our offense, like, we played well. I feel like, there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
Small misassignments here and there that can, against a better team, really have a bigger impact.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, for the first game of the year, I feel like we didn't have as many hiccups and, bumps in the road as a lot of other, NCAA teams have.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I feel like even defensively, like, I mean, you guys put up so many points that, like, of course, we're going to put the foot on their necks, but, like, at the same time, like, you can only go so long with, like, pitching a shutout, and I think that, like, at the end of the first half, maybe we got a little bit comfortable.
Yeah.
They got a nice pass, got it down there, and, I mean, they had to go to fourth down to even score the football, so I think that we still put up a fight. I think that, personally...
Oh, there's the pizza man.
Pizza! We love it.
Ethan, you want the pizza now?
Let's see.
I'll wait for a little bit. I had an Outback Steakhouse probably an hour or two ago.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
No, something else about the game I feel like though was our energy and so I mean I don't know how many people out there know about like our best self and shadow but whatnot. So I mean best self is basically just like being the best version of you can be, avoiding things that like put you in like a mentality that you can't perform as well, you're angry or whatnot. So I feel like all of us were positive during the game, even when they had that long kick return.
Yeah.
We're still up by 40, but after that long kick return, I feel like we still have our heads up. We're like, okay, this is okay. We gotta really focus now, and keep pushing, keep working, keep doing what we do. And so I think the attitude overall with the entire team, offense, defense, special teams, I think that was a big factor in what we were able to do.
Yeah.
Think so?
I mean, I think so also. I think especially when the momentum was really high, like offense, defense, and special teams, we were playing a perfect game. And I think that playing a perfect game together just helps you just get out to the lead like that. I think that honestly, going into this week, I mean, we got things that we got to fix on offense, things we got to fix on defense, but I think we nailed down the special teams component of it, and I think that we'll be having a really good feeling also this Saturday.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I feel like special teams is underrated.
Oh,
Because you're watching the Clemson game or something right now. They had the first pump block, put them in the red zone, and they go and score.
yep.
And obviously they're Clemson, but that's just a huge momentum shift. Last year against, I think it was Idaho State, Kibo Hill had a pump block,
Yeah.
and we recovered it in the end zone, and that just completely, like, special teams itself has such a factor in, like, just helping our team succeed.
Yeah, just like what's it called? What Coach Lamb said today. Like Max had that sick, what's it called, tackle on kickoff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the football gods shine down on him and pick right after that the touchdown. So I mean, honestly, like, special teams is just the way to flip the field, is how some people think. But honestly, like, once you're playing the game, you realize that special teams is like a way to give momentum to the offense and the defense, because we have a good kickoff return ourselves. Offense, boom. We have a good punt, get them down, pin down on the 1 yard line, like what JB did earlier, and we got them down at the 5, and boom, we got the ball right back to the offense. I think those plays, even though they're just like very like nonchalant to the outside viewer, to like offense and defense, those are some of the most important plays, I think.
Yeah. Well, and the one that Jake Bourne put on the 5 yard line, they went 3 and out, punted, safety. So,
Exactly.
Points on special teams are just so big, because you never expect to score on special teams, and so when you do, it just everyone gets riled up, everyone gets fired up. No matter what the score is, you scored in a place you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You usually don't. I mean, that alone just like, yeah.
Talking about safeties, what's it called? The Iowa game had, what's it called, 2 safeties. Our game had a safety. I feel like safeties are so hard to come by, but like this like week was like safeties left and right, which is like 2 points.
I don't know how that even happens.
It's so weird.
I actually just watched a video today on YouTube about the Iowa game that said, put Iowa college football back 100 years. And I was like, that's embarrassing. I was like, it's gonna be 7 points. That's touchdown, PAT. No. It's a field goal and 2 safeties.
Oh, yeah.
That's not how football is supposed to be played. That's just ugly football. And I mean, week 1, you see a lot of that, but I feel like we came out and we kicked some butt.
No. Truthfully, I think that it was like one of the most sound performances in college football during week 1. I mean, of course, we had the kickoff return, but we're playing the number 1 like special team return unit in the country. I mean, he was nasty. He could go, and
he was shifty.
And we of course we could have made some tackles and got him down, but I mean, other than that, I think we played pretty well defensively and offensively. If you had to say the biggest like key to victory coming up this week, what do you think it will be on the offensive side?
That's a good question. I think just being tough. I mean, last year, as much as it sucks to say, they were more physical on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense and defense, they just kind of kicked our butt. And so this year, I mean, they did lose a couple of their performers, but regardless of that, it's the same staff. We're going against the same team almost, and so just being tough, being prepared, because I think those go hand in hand. Because you can't go out there with full confidence if you don't know your assignment.
Of course.
And so preparing well. Watching film on them, just preparing, being tough, being mentally tough. I think that Coach Kalani gets about right is our trash talking.
Yeah.
And so I think if we just stay humble, stay hungry, prepare, and just be tough guys, I think we have this game.
Yeah, no, I feel like completely. I mean, defensively, I wasn't here last year, but I mean, I watched the game, watched the highlights, and I think that the thing that separated us last year to this year would be if we can finish the tackles that are tackles for losses or 3 or 4 yard gains instead of turning them to 30-yard gains. That means, okay, we got a 3rd and 3 instead of first down on our 50, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what really will separate the game from being what it was last year to what it's going to be this year. Because honestly, I believe that tackling is a will and a want to. And, we were injured, we had some guys down, but I think that this team, just like you said, like we're trying to be the best versions of ourselves. And so that's a will and a want to tackle. And I think that, we didn't do that much in fall camp, but we came out and we did it this past game, and I think that we can even take a step and improve on it this coming up game. And I mean, they're gonna know what we're gonna do, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna do it better than they know what we're gonna do, and that's all that matters.
So Coach Grimes, their offense coordinator, he recruited me.
Oh,
and so
okay.
I came in, so I actually never even got to really know him that well. And so then like I come here and they're like, oh, you went to Baylor. I was like, oh. I was like, that's cool. And then like I go and watch, because last year I redshirt, I just like ended up watching the game. I was like, they run the exact same offense as us. It's like, I know this play, I know that formation. I'm like, what the, how is this? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, do you think that'll help on defense? Being able to, like...
I mean, honestly, yeah. I would say so, but at the same time, he's going to run the same thing with a couple of wrinkles, right? And he's going to exploit the weaknesses that he believes that we have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, last year he ran the ball into the boundary all day long. It was hard because we didn't have some of our playmakers, and it put some stress on our defense. But I think that this year we know what he wants to do, right? And if he comes out and tries something different, at least we have the things gapped out and sound enough to be able to stop what he did last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, if he's got to draw something up at halftime and try to beat us, that means we've got him off his game. So I think that, I'm excited because, it's a Texas team. I'm from Texas. They're coming up here. I haven't played in less. I'm excited for that environment. It's supposed to be rocking 8:15 at night.
Dude, it's crazy. You have no idea.
Yeah, I generally don't have a single idea.
Tell me, well, how big was your field at Vandy? How many people did it sit?
Well, we sat like 44,000, but I'd say we sold out maybe 3 or 4 times, but it was like a away home game because it'd be like all the Georgia fans would come, or all the LSU fans would come, or all the Tennessee fans would come. But I did go one time when I was getting recruited, or like I committed there. We played Tennessee Thanksgiving weekend, and that was packed out, but that's still not the same thing. It doesn't get like as rowdy. I've gone to places like Texas A&M, Florida. Those places get rowdy for sure, but it's nothing like I haven't played a night game where it's been sold out. That's one thing I have not done.
I mean, like, we sold out our game against Idaho State. Idaho State. No disrespect to them, but it's Idaho State.
Yeah.
I mean, so like our rock, like our student section. Yeah. They're so loud. Last year against Utah. Yeah. We made them false start like 3 or 4 times, something like that, just because they were so loud they couldn't hear anything. I'm getting chills thinking about it. It's like it's an electric environment. Like you look all the way around because we got 65,000 seats or so, and I think we probably fit like 70,000 because the student section. Of course. Everyone's just like
shoulder to shoulder. Yeah.
It's probably unsafe, but it's rocking. And so I'm so excited, especially to come in and play a good team like Baylor. It's because last year against Utah, that's what I'm kind of comparing it to, because I feel like Baylor right now is like our rivalry. Yeah, of course. We want revenge from them from last year. Yeah. Because, they disrespected us. Now they're going to come back to our house.
And that's not going to happen this year.
Yeah, and I think our fans are feeling the exact same way.
Yeah. I actually have a friend that plays on their O-line at Baylor. He played with me at Vanderbilt. His name's Grant Miller. And I was talking to him earlier in the season, whatever the case is. He was like, we're ready to go up there. And I was like, it's a different environment. I was like, I haven't played in it, but I don't know if you've ever seen the video Keem Slow was talking about playing here at BYU. So my friend runs this podcast at USC called Momentum Trek, and he's like, well, you go up there and it's the scariest place to play. I played everywhere, and he was like, all these people sober, yelling at me, telling me I suck, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, they're soberly telling me that I suck. Like, do I actually suck? like I'm not 100% sure. And then at the end of the game, after they beat you, they give you goodie bags, and you're like, this is like really mind messing up. Like, it's so bad. So I mean, I was like, I haven't played in it. It'll be both of our first experiences, but I was like, I'm happy to be on the right side of it. I don't know about you, but it might be different.
Well, then, I mean, how do you feel about our fan base, like, in Florida?
Oh, that was great. Yeah. It was so much blue there. Like, they had their student section, or if you called it.
Oh, my goodness. Their student section was a joke.
And then we had all the blue, and I was like, wow. I was like, this is like a mini Vanderbilt home game. I was like, we probably had as many fans there as, like, I had at Vanderbilt, if I had to be honest with you. But, I don't know. What are you most excited about, like, this week? Like, the preparation, like, everything. Like, what are you most excited about?
Oh man, I don't even know. In preparation for it, I mean, shoot, I don't know. I'm excited for all of it. This is all just still kind of new to me. Like, I'm still like starstruck, or not starstruck, but like I'm still like, oh my gosh, like, this is BYU football that like I'm going out and being a part of, like, and so I think aside from preparation, like the thing I'm excited for this week is just playing a good team, being on the field, feeling the energy. Because like last year, just I didn't dress out, just like stood on the sideline. That's that's a lot different.
Yeah.
And so being able to actually like be a part of this, being with the ups, being with the downs,
Yeah.
and just like being with my brothers, like I feel like that's what I'm most excited for.
I feel you. I think there's two things I'm most excited about. I'm most excited about just like going through the tunnel. Like I already had this like a vision, just just all these people, and it's like dark, and there's the mountains. I'm like, oh wow, I'm about to make a big play, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one I'm most excited about is just like, I feel like everybody has their misconceptions or just like their thoughts about like, BYU's got a tough schedule. BYU's got to do this to be able to run the table and whatever the case is. Like I'm excited to go play a good football team, regardless win, loss, draw, whatever, and just prove to everybody that like regardless of what you think, like we're meant to be here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna show you that, of course. And I mean, at the end of the day, I want to win, and we're gonna win. But I mean, just regardless of that, like it's not about like proving to them, but just proving to ourselves like that we are able to play with anybody in the country. It doesn't matter like. Was it like Clemson? Oh, good football team, they should score. Like if Clemson comes in here, we're gonna give them the same thing. Alabama comes in here, we're gonna give them the same thing. Because like I've seen them play, I've gone against these teams, and like there's no difference. Like we got a lot of guys, and we got probably more football players than anybody else got in the country. I'll take us versus anybody any single day of the week. So that's what I'm excited about for sure.
Yeah, that's way rad.
Yeah.
SEC.
Yeah.
I know you came from Vandy, but like I don't really know much about them. Like I guess like I've never been able to compare like our team, like see any comparisons against like our team and SEC schools, but like now like this year we play is Arkansas SEC?
Yeah, Arkansas
so
in the SEC, yeah.
And so I mean, what was our last SEC team we played?
Tennessee 2019.
Yeah. I was actually talking to Mason about that today, Mason Wake.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I went in for the first time this past game. Yeah. I was talking to him, that was the first game he ever went in.
Oh, really?
So he said he went in, Tennessee's just like, have like 100,000 people.
Neyland Stadium, I hate that place.
It's just
I
loud.
hate that place.
He said he was just terrible. Like, he was like, it was crazy. And so I was like, thinking about it, I was like, well, I mean, mine could have been way worse going in the first, We've got their student section's all gone to like a house party or something. Like they're not even here anymore. Like this is a good environment, up by 40.
Yeah.
It's a good time to go in.
Yeah, like so I in my time regardless, like with my years eligible, I won't ever get to play Utah probably in my time that I'm here. So like, it's like I want to Utah State, boo, Utah State. That's how I feel about the situation right now. But so Vanderbilt, that's our biggest rival, right?
Yeah.
And in the last 10 years, we're five them, 5 us. And the last 3 years they caught our number. And when I went to Neyland Stadium my freshman year, it was like the first game I actually got to play on defense. And it was rainy. There really wasn't anybody there, but I remember our bus coming underneath the bridge, and they were just pegging us with oranges. Just top of the bus, just boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And everybody else is on the bus. They've been there. They're like, oh, this happens every year, And I'm like, every year this happens. I was like, I feel like I'm getting harassed right now. But then this past year we went back and we played over there, and it was just like actually playing. It was a surreal environment. So, yeah, Arkansas, Arkansas and Alabama and Auburn are the only 3 teams I never played when I was in the SEC. So I'm excited. The 3 teams with the A, I never played it because they're on a 7-year rotation in the SEC. But Arkansas, the last time we played them at Vanderbilt, we waxed the floor, and it was like 45-7, but they weren't good back then.
Yeah.
But they got good under Sam Pittman now, and I think that got some big boys, and I'm glad that they're coming up here because we go over there and people there are just mean and just for no reason. They could be 2-9 and they'd still just be hateful people. But I think they come up here and they're gonna be like shell shock and stun. But I think there's not much of a difference, honestly. Like the dudes that we got here are huge on the O-line. The dudes they got are huge on the O-line. I think maybe the biggest difference is that their type of ball in the SEC is to rush the passer, right? What we do is more or less to contain the passer, and we rely on our linebackers and our defensive back play. And I think that this year we have some elevated defensive back play compared to years before. And I think our linebackers are really great. Our defensive line does what they're supposed to do, which gets the ball spilled out to us. And I think the tackling's now gotten way better. And so, they're going to come up here and they're going to see the difference. And I think that it'll be exciting. Everybody will see, like, they're not holier than thou. Like, everybody's like, it's the AFC, NFC, and SEC. Like, yeah, cool, but like they still got to play everybody else, and it's a football game. Like any given Saturday, anybody can win.
You're a smart guy. Holy cow! I'm learning from you. Like a 7-year rotation, you kind of lost me there. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff I didn't know about.
Yeah, but yeah, I
That's
know.
what happens when you get a degree from Vandy in 3 years.
You got it in 3 years?
Yeah, so I early enrolled 2019 January. Then I was done with school in December of 2021.
Okay.
But then I had to work a semester for my degree, or I would have graduated like non-degree seeking, and I didn't want to do that as my undergrad.
Okay.
So I worked for the semester, got a degree in human organizational development, and then proceeded to get in the transfer portal. But yeah, now I'm here doing the MBA program. Got 3 more years eligibility, but we're taking it a game at a time. That's how we're taking it at this moment in time before we see what happens next. Yeah.
3 years. I guess I don't really know anything about you.
I just go. I just go do my job, go home, hang out with my.
I just know you're good at football. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'll take that.
Yeah, no. Since I've been here, I don't really do much. I hang out. I got a dog. I got a puppy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's like, well, she's 2 now,
What kind of
but
dog?
she's a Rottweiler. Yeah, I got a Rottweiler.
Okay.
My parents own a doggy daycare, so we're like huge dog people. Like huge. My sister owns 2 also, so like dog people to the max. And that's pretty much it. I got a girlfriend. She's back home, and she cheers at SMU, and that's pretty much all I do. Nothing much.
A little long distance action.
Yeah.
Dude, I got a Saint Berdoodle.
Really?
Her name's Piper. Yeah, she's like 2 years old now. But she's probably like 85 pounds. She's a big fluffy dog.
Oh wow.
Dude, but she's super cool.
We should get our dogs together.
Dude, I know. And then my dad was over in Alabama. I think he's watching. He's got a Aussie Doodle and a Golden Doodle. A lot of doodles in my family.
Yeah, my parents.
Yeah, we're big dog people too. I
My
love
parents say doodles are the craziest dogs to have. They're just like energy, just at all times.
So the solid combination. I mean, obviously all dogs are good, but the solid combination is the Saint Bernard and because so I had a Saint Bernard named Cooper when I was probably like 11.
Yeah.
He had to be 120 pounds, like big Beethoven looking dog.
Wow.
And so we ended up moving. I moved to Hawaii my sophomore year. So yeah, there's something
Alabama.
No, I grew up in Utah.
Okay.
My dad. We'll go into this some other time. Big long story all about that
I
stuff.
was like, that is a culture shock.
I got family all over the place, man. Anyways, and so we ended up having to get rid of this dog Cooper, who's just the best dog. So when we moved back here to Utah in 2020, my parents were like, oh, let's get another dog, but like we don't need to shed.
Yeah.
And so we got this puppy. Yeah. So she's like, sometimes she's like super chilled and relaxed, like most of the day. And then like we can take her up to our cabin down up in the mountains, and she'll just like run around nonstop, like just get like drained, and so she like, has the energy of a poodle, but like can just like cuddle and just like be like Saint Bernard. And that might take the cake on that kind of dog right there.
I feel you. What's it called? You know, like I fell into the trap. I got a COVID puppy. So I was like,
so many people do that, man.
Like I'd been wanting to get a puppy, and my mom was like, "Don't do it. Like Gabriel, you have to play football, whatever the case is." And then I went on Craigslist, and I was like, Rottweiler, $75, pick up in 20 minutes. Boom, went to go get the puppy. She was 4 weeks old. She was probably this big. Cried every single night for 4 weeks.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
did you have roommates or who? Like what?
I had 2 roommates, and we had like this makeshift older house, and like we had a back house like bathroom, so like I'd keep her like there so she couldn't cry, like, and they could hear it, and I'd like sleep in the bathroom floor right next to her, and I'd be like, it's okay. And then but now she's awesome. Like one thing which is so weird, you're talking about the mountains and whatever the case is, I cannot let her off the leash anywhere in public. She will. She's gone. I won't ever see her again. We go up in the mountains, and she's like, doo, 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 and then stays right next to me the whole time. And I'm like, why can't you be like this at all times, please?
Yeah. So I'd always have to walk my dog every night, well, most nights. And when I was living with my parents before I got here, and so they lived over in Cedar Hill. They still live over there. Cedar Hill's just like right backed up against the mountain. Yeah. And so I just go up on like this hiking trail, and so I just let her go. She'd be gone for 20 minutes, and I just like call her and be like,
heart attack.
I hope nothing happens. And so like sometimes a deer will horn, she'll just book after it. And so I'm like, I'll just hope for the best. And then 20 minutes later, Piper, and then I see her running. Sometimes she got like blood in her mouth, and I'm like, I don't want to know where you've been. I don't want to know what's happened. Like, do your own thing, man. I'll just get you and feed you. Just don't put me on the other side of whatever just happened.
It's funny.
That's what happens with missing hikers, man.
It's actually my dog.
Piper and the missing hiker.
So there was a hiker that went missing in Cedar Hills the other day.
Could be my dog.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We got one question though. We got one question in the chat for you guys.
Yeah.
Here, let's throw this one first.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I've actually got a really good quote that leads into that question.
Go for it.
Okay.
Because you guys were talking about first home game, playing at LES. You've never actually played there in front of a packed house, Gabe. So I'll point this first to Ethan, and then you can kind of catch up. Dave Aranda, he's the head coach of Baylor. Probably heard of him once or twice. Used to be at LSU. Before that, he was a defensive coordinator at Utah State, and then he worked in Southern Utah as well. So he's got a little bit of history, a little bit of experience playing in Provo, and playing BYU, playing up here in the mountains at altitude and everything. Earlier today, he was asked to describe playing in Provo, like what's the atmosphere like, what's it like there. They were just barely back here 4 years ago or so with LSU, and he came back in here. He said they, as in the fan base, are great at welcoming you at the beginning of the game with a really friendly cheer, but once you get in, it's packed and it gets loud. I think now that the games are later in the evening, that's the whole thing as well. You're in your hotel all day just looking at the clock. There's definitely a home field advantage there. It's a storm that we have to run into. What would you say? You're like pretty accurate?
100% accurate.
BYU fan base?
Oh yeah. So it's also funny because our fans trickle in at kickoff. We probably have like 45,000 people or something. The student section's full, but like their families. They got their 8 or 9 kids. They're coming. They're bringing them in. You got it. made a little joke, but anyways. And so I used to be that kid. My dad would take me to the games. I have 7 other siblings.
Oh wow.
And so I grew up coming to these games. But like so fans start to trickle in, and everyone's like, oh yeah, and so, but once they get packed, games going, things get heated, like, man, it's on. They'll call you everything but a swear word. Like they'll be cheering like, gosh darn you, man. It's like, it's like, catch the freaking ball, bug the cat. It's like you'll be like, just say something, like say it like an actual customer. Like it almost hurts worse because you're like, they really want to. But yeah, that's completely accurate. It's a storm, like just that thundering crowd. Like it's loud, it's violent, like. Yeah, they're all good people. After the game, win or lose, they'll still respect the other team regardless.
Give your goodie bag.
Yeah. So Gabe, knowing all of that, this one's from Icy Man Design over here on our YouTube chat. Since you've never played at LES before, this is a 2-part. I'm going to split up into 2, so there will be a follow. Don't worry. Since you've never played at LES, what are you expecting Saturday night? Listening to that experience, now listening to your teammates, also getting a little bit of a taste of BYU's fan base. About 30,000 fans at Raymond James Stadium. I think at least half of them were wearing blue. Mm-hmm. No offense to the Bulls, but it was probably more than half. So you got a little bit of a taste there. You've heard from your teammates. What are you expecting this Saturday night from the home crowd?
Definitely what I'm expecting is a packed house. Everybody cheering. I don't. It's kind of hard to explain, but like what I'm envisioning is just like a blue storm with like mountains behind it, and something that like Baylor's just not ready for. And I'm excited. I'm also envisioning not being able to hear the defensive call and being like, what's going on right now? But I'm excited. Regardless, I don't know. When I get out on the field, I don't really like. It's kind of like a bubble. There's a bubble that comes out, and like. Yeah, I'll get on the sideline and then I'll hear it again, but when I get out there, it's super silent. So like sometimes it's astonishing to me when the offense can't get the play off, because I'm like, I don't hear anything. Like, snap the ball, let's get it going. Like, I'm excited right now. But no, I'm a blue storm with the mountains in the background is what I'm envisioning for sure.
I hope they light up the Y. That'd be cool. They do that every now and then because like on like the southeast corner of our stadium, it's like open.
Yeah.
So you can like see the Y through it.
Don't we do that when we win, right?
Oh,
we do our homecoming and other special times.
So homecoming, the rivalry game, which I guess they don't have this year, and other like big on-campus events.
Well, like,
but I think the homecoming is a big one. Which this year, I believe homecoming is Arkansas. I think that's the homecoming game.
Could be.
Wait, is that like the
So
senior?
that should be all lit up.
No, homecoming.
What's homecoming?
Like,
Homecoming is just when they bring back like alumni.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
gotcha,
like,
gotcha.
specific alumni weekend.
Okay, yeah.
I'm from Austin, Texas, so like they light up the tower anytime they win. I feel like that would be cool. Like 12 wins in a row and the 12 lit up Ys. Like That'd be live, don't you think so?
That would be dope. That'd be dope. They've got a victory bell outside of the Marriott Center that they ring.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Win, but that's also like you're wrong in it. Yeah, it's cool at the moment, but it lasts literally like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Gabe, second part of this question: since you didn't play Baylor last year, are you feeling the same vibe of revenge that the rest of the team is? Or maybe I'll flip it around. Sorry, Icy Man, but I'll flip it around a little bit. How much revenge is around this team based off of what happened last year, and can you even kind of as a newcomer sort of feel it?
I know, kind of like talking about what Coach Kalani said. Like, I mean, we're trying to be our best selves, so like, yeah, it's a revenge game, for lack of a better word. But I think that personally, we're just trying to play the best game that we can, because we didn't go there last year and play the best game that we can. So I think that if we do this year, like, I mean, put revenge aside, I mean, we win the football game, because you play mistake-free football, and at the end of the day, you're gonna win the football game. So I mean, I can tell that everybody wants to get one over on Grimes. Everybody wants to prove, like, regardless of what we're doing, we're still gonna beat you. But I think that we want to just be able to show them that, like, when we play our best game, like, we don't have to worry about anything that you're doing. And so, like, that's, I think, the vibe that I'm getting. I don't know if you feel differently. I don't know, because you were here last year.
Yeah, I mean, from the offensive side, it's a little bit more violent.
Yeah.
Because obviously, we want to play. We want to be our best selves. We want to,
Yeah.
Be the best athletes we can, be the best mindset we can. But at the same time, it's like that really sucked last year.
Yeah.
And like, everyone's has a bitter taste in their mouth. I mean, I feel like it's worse than. I mean, we came into this season after losing the bowl game. I feel like it's worse, like a worse taste in our mouth from that, because we have so many like personal connections on that team.
Yeah.
And like with what they've said about us and things like that. Like, I feel like we want to go in and we want to just prove our point with violence and intensity, and just I feel like we do like. Yeah, I feel like we want to. We're a little angry about it.
Yeah.
In the media, we use the term measuring stick for games like this. Is this a little bit of a measuring stick for you guys with maybe how you'll be going into the Big 12 next year with Baylor on kind of this home and home split, I guess, before you officially join the conference? Can you see this as a little bit of a measuring stick?
Well, yeah, playing any team from the conference we're about to go into, definitely will do that. But I mean, I also feel like any team you play, because we're going to be in the conference, but I feel like we're bigger than that. We want to be known everywhere. We want to play teams from everywhere. That's why independence has been so good for us. It's like we want to be known all around. What do you think?
I don't know. I kind of don't like that,
honestly. I don't really like that phrase.
Yeah, because, like, okay, BYU's been independent, so they've played teams from all, like, they beat Tennessee. They've played Utah, they beat Utah, so, like, going into the Big 12, like, cool. Like, you get the sponsorship, you get the bowl win money from everybody else, you get more money that comes to the school, but I think that every single week we play somebody different, so, like, is it a measuring stick game when we play South Florida? Is it when we play Notre Dame? Is it when we play Arkansas? No, we're just there to play our game. So I think that it doesn't really matter, because, like, there are teams in the Big 12 that are good. There are teams in the Big 12 that aren't good. So at the end of the day, like, I think that it's a game that we prove to ourselves that, like, if we do the right thing, we win. And so I think that's the measuring stick for us, if I had to be honest with you.
I feel like we don't like to compare ourselves outward. We just want to. So I mean, I feel like we do everything to prove to ourselves rather than to prove to other teams in the nation. Like, we want to prove that we're the best team. We're the best team, period. And so I don't think we want to compare ourselves to just a small group. We want to just take the religious phrase, raise where you stand. And so we want to just elevate ourselves for ourselves, not for anybody else, not for a conference. Like, we just want to be the best that we personally can be.
Let's talk drip on Saturday for a second.
Nice talk.
Can we talk drip?
Yeah, of course.
The royal color rush that the guys are unveiling. What do you guys think of this uniform combo, the all royal with the royal helmets? And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if you guys have heard something different, I think this is the first time that BYU's worn that gray face mask. Yeah, with the royal helmet.
Yeah, because we wore it last week with the white helmet. It is, I think I just looked on Instagram, so I find things at the same time everybody else does on Instagram.
Same as
That's how we all find it.
Yeah, so I said new helmet design. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I mean,
Didn't we practice with him like last week to be able to
I
break
think
him
we
in?
did.
Yeah, I don't think he's gray. I think it's chrome.
Yeah, I think
It's
the face mask is a gray
It's
color.
got a different name, but it's like a gray.
Yeah,
Silver.
so it's silver underneath, and then with a white or with a clear, the wax dip, or the clear plastic dip.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it looks cool. I mean, I think it looked good in blue, honestly. So, I mean, to me, like, it's gonna be great.
Royal's my favorite uniform.
Oh yeah,
Like, I think just that color just sets us apart from anywhere else in the nation. So I think that color alone, like, the color rush, it's honestly way cool. I'm excited to be wearing it. 'Cause I mean, that's old school BYU.
One of your teammates, Isaac Rex. I think you know him, Ethan. You've heard of him?
I think so.
Yeah, once or twice.
Big guy?
Gabe maybe not so much. But I think he's heard of him. Isaac said this on Instagram when the helmet came out on the post. He goes, "Who the F is that running through glass?"
It's Pepe.
So yeah, so somebody
Pepe
said, "Oh,
and,
that's Pepe
and
Tanavasa."
Icy Miles, man.
Yeah. So somebody else said that's Pepe Tanavasa. But then another Instagram user said that's what Mason Wake looks like when running through a DB. Which I think.
Well, no, DBs don't even want to. They just bite his ankles. Like,
that's why he hurdles, right?
yeah, I was like,
that's why he hurdles.
oh my gosh, get this. At the game, Mason catches that flat route. He turns around, and that little tiny DB is coming up to Mason. The whole sideline goes, watch it, like the other team's sideline. They're like, they know he was gonna do that, and so the guy's like kind of going, he's like going up and down like this, and then finally goes and gnaws on his ankles, and it's like, just be a man, just take the hit. Like, who cares if you get hurt? Like, it's a fullback, yeah, but that's such an embarrassing tackle, just going for ankle. I
don't know if we watched the game this week. I definitely was not doing that.
Okay, guys. So give us your expert opinion. How are you tackling Mason Wake?
How are you tackling Mason? You don't tackle him though. That's no one can.
I mean, the dude from South Florida, running back number 0, he's 6'1", 230. So I mean, he's a pretty big boy. But I don't know how I'm tackling Mason Wade because I'm going at the hip. I mean, head up might be like a little bit of disadvantage for me, but I mean, I think if I come in an angle to the hips, I think I could get him. In my personal opinion, but that's me. I'm also a bigger DB than the majority of the people. So, I mean, not weight wise, but I use my length to my advantage, I'd say.
This is hard. I want to be on your side, but I also am just on his side.
Yeah.
And it's two guys that I like. I'm like,
Yeah.
Trying to pick one of them, and I'm like,
don't get me wrong. Like, I'll have to get up and readjust my helmet and be like, get up and live to fight another down. But I think I definitely get him down, and I'd be a little proud of myself.
Okay, so I'll flip that one around then, since I put Gabe on the spot. Okay, you've got the ball.
Yeah.
You're charging upfield. Gabe's coming in to tackle you. Are you gonna go through him, or are you gonna try to?
I'm hurdling it. No, I'll probably. I mean,
You have a better chance hurdling me. I got hurdled twice in high school. Not
Did
even
you
gonna
really?
clear. One time I was standing straight up.
Okay, so here's the thing about hurdling. People are like, oh, you have to jump high for it. No. You just have to split your legs open. Like the tight end for.
It's all about the form. Right?
Yeah, the tight end for USF, he goes, he like crushes his legs up. It's like, no, that's when you get put on your neck and.
Die.
Yeah, and don't play another down. Like, you just gotta go up and just like straddle. I mean Mason's Instagram picture. That's basically how you do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to jump very high. You just gotta.
He tried training Houston, apparently. Houston's not going to go full send. He said Houston's not going to try it. But then we had him in studio in here together, and we're like, so has Mason taught you to hurdle yet? And Mason's like, he won't do it. He won't try. I've taught him exactly how to do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I vividly remember it was my junior year, 2-point conversion, and I was playing football in North Carolina at the time, so hurdling was illegal, so you couldn't actually hurdle. And I was standing straight up, like all 6'2" of me standing straight up in the air, and this dude just into the end zone, and I literally was looking at him as he went like that, and I was like, you just clear. It wasn't a split of the legs, it was just clear jumped over me, and I was like, wow. I was like, I have to give you props for that one. Like, you just clear on hurdled me.
Yeah, because I feel like you never expect a hurdle. I feel like now it's a little bit more common, but
Yeah.
I played linebacker 9th grade, I guess. We'll go back to there. If you want to tackle someone, yeah, you want to get leverage, you want to be low, you want to get a good wrap up. So you get low, you creep up to them, they go over you. You're like, this is is not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
I mean, expected juke for like a truck, and then he just takes off.
honestly, the best way to like defend it, it's the rise as you tackle.
Oh,
So, like, you know
yeah.
how, like when you hit somebody, you bring your hips through and you go up. So pretty much the same way. Like you're going down, and you're like, oh, he's going up, so you go straight up, and give him a nice hit in the kisser, or you gotta flip him over, and
Yeah, because once you're in the air, if you get touched anywhere.
Oh yeah.
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 No, the thing that's scary about those though is because like our coaches harp on ball security. That's our biggest thing.
Yeah.
So like with hurdles, like
You better hurdle
Yeah.
like this.
so
Over
like
there.
if anyone hurdles and fumbles, or
That will never happen again.
yeah, they'll never be allowed to. I mean, see the field.
Honestly, yeah. I know we got any more questions?
No. Dude, is Ethan ready for his pizza?
Oh, yeah.
Should we
I'll probably eat that entire thing tonight.
pass Ethan his
Yeah, let's
pizza
do
and
it.
then last thoughts from you guys? You got anything?
I have a funny story
That's what
about.
we want.
All right, this is completely.
We're all
Oh, he
about
can,
fun
he
stuff.
can eat on camera.
Yeah, I mean, we've got how many viewers do we have?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, we got 7 or 8.
My dad says you're welcome to come to our cabin. He texts me, he's like, oh, tell Gabe he's invited.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
Alright, cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So the next True Connect live stream will be live from Ethan's
from San Pete, Utah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell the story before I eat that piece. So last night, cause I have Houston living in my house. I have Houston, Chris, Max Tooley, and Sione Vecoso. So I've got
Oh, it's the party house.
there's 5 people. There's 5 football players living in my house.
Yeah.
And so we just live in like this like comfortable neighborhood. Our neighbors come by like I hear the doorbell ring. I'm like hanging out with my fiance. I'm like, yeah, I don't really need to answer it. Whatever. Rings again. I'm like, all right, I'll go answer. So I go out, and they're all like kind of like around my mailbox. And like they started walking away. I was like, hey, what's up? They're like, oh, hey, you're home. I'm like, yeah. They're like, you have a rattlesnake over here, and I'm like, oh. And then they go aside from that, like, oh, by the way, we brought you cinnamon rolls and some nuts. And I was like, they're like, just tell you guys good job in your game. I was like, oh, well, thanks. So that's why they came by. So they saw this rattlesnake just like coiled up and like, and so I start talking to my neighbor, and I'm like, well, I mean, what do I do? He's like, well, it might be illegal to tell a story. You're not allowed to kill rattlesnakes, but we'll say he didn't. Hypothetically, maybe it was a dream. This could have been a dream. Anyways, and so I go out, and he's like, well, you want to kill it or you want me to? I'm like, I don't have anything. I'm barefoot out here. I hear her, and I'm like, I've never seen a rattlesnake. I grew up in Utah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is insane. And so, because I guess they come down, because I'm right up against the mountain, come down to get water, and then like once they're down, like they won't go back up. They just want to get more water and keep going lower and lower until someone comes with a shovel. But so that's what happens. So
I think.
so I vaguely remember it's a melatonin dream. And so he comes over, and like he's got like his 3 kids with him. They're all barefoot. He's wearing like some slippers, some flip flops, and I'm like, so you want me to kill it? I'm like, sure, man. So like sends his kid off, get a shovel. My other neighbor comes back. He's like, oh, what's going on? And there's a rattlesnake. I'm like, can I go inside? Like, I don't want to be out here.
Yeah.
And so finally, like, he gets his shovel. He starts like poking and prodding. She like slither around. He like tries to grab it with the end of the shovel and like pull it away. And like it like gets away. It's still in there. He starts like poking around this bush. And like he pokes one spot, nothing. Pokes another, and he's like, oh, pokes further, and like it's louder and louder. Like this, it's like bone-chilling rattle. I'm like, I've never heard anything like this. Like, I've seen like videos and stuff, but I've never actually heard it. And so finally he like hits a spot, and it's like the loudest it is, so he just he starts whacking this bush. I'm like, and the rattle gets a little quieter and quieter each time, and I'm like, and then finally it like, I think it like bit something, like venom shot up in the air or something. It was like misty, and I was like, oh, am I gonna die? Like, what's happening? And so like, he keeps whacking it. It gets like a pile of dirt. He just starts like grabbing the thing, chopping. I'm like, this is insane.
The horror movie.
Yeah, I was like, this is brutal. Like, I feel bad for the snake. And so he like picks it up with his shovel. He's like, I put it in your trash can. I'm like,
I guess.
Yeah, I guess go for it. So I open it, and then so I go up and get Houston. I'm like, dude, come look at this thing. So Houston's like, whoa, like we're looking at it. He takes a video for Snapchat or whatever. And then Chris comes pulling up in his car. Like, he comes out, he's like, oh, what's going on? I'm like, dude, are you scared of snakes? He's like, no, not really. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, there's a rattlesnake in our trash can. He's like, It's like, oh, let me see. So they like pull it up, and like it's like a dead twitch, and it's like moving a little bit. That dude just screams in a pitch that's like whistle tone. He just like backs up. I'm like, there's like a girl here with him, and I'm like, bro. I'm like, he's like, that's a snake, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's a snake. That's what I told you it was gonna be. That's the end of that story. And I was just sitting in my trash can waiting for garbage day.
He leads the nation in attempts or running 40+ yards, but he's also got a, you know, kind of
massive snake phobia.
Massive snake.
It could have been a dream though.
It could have been.
It could have been a dream.
Hey, being from Texas, we have had a lot of snakes. You know, my mom is deathly afraid of snakes, but it's not even like a real snake. But I went on my official visit to Vanderbilt. It was like December or whatever, and there was a magician, right? He showed us like a real snake, and it was like in this box and whatever. And then like he was doing some trick, and like he's like, okay, I pick you out of the crowd, and he was like, okay, watch this box. And he was like, okay, is there anything in there? I stick my hand in, and I was like, no, there's nothing in there. And he was like, opens up the box, and this like fake snake comes out in my face, and I'm like, ah! In front of like 75 people, and I like everybody is crying, laughing, and I'm like having a miniature heart attack. I was like, dude, I saw a real snake, and then this snake just jumped out of my face, and he was like, oh, I got you, so funny, and I was like, that was not funny at all. It might have been entertainment for everybody else, but my life was flashing before my eyes.
You got me in a vulnerable spot right there.
We may have to put an archive warning. We'll do it in post-production on the podcast version of this. If anybody is afraid of snakes, do not listen to the conversation. It could be triggering.
Yeah.
Or fake snakes in
Yeah.
Gabe's case.
There's a real one. There's valid.
Yeah, I think there was one real and then the one we get.
Yeah.
There was a fake one.
But
That's true.
I think that we're wrapping it up. I appreciate you for coming and supporting. You know, you got your pizza.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
shoot,
but
dude, I'm here.
I'd love to shout out our sponsors again: Miracle Bowl, Carrick Home Design, Frankie Jane, Save Damien. Y'all, please go donate, and we appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Ethan, give them the most the best plug you can for Coug Connect. Why did you go subscribe to CougConnect.com? What's your best plug?
Where else can you go? Nowhere else has athletes like us. Nowhere else has I mean, I feel like everywhere else you have to be like super professional and like, I'm eating pizza on a live stream. These are men of the people.
This is how we roll.
These are men of the people. That's why you should go and.
No 5-star dinners over here. We just grab pizza.
Exactly. I got a little
name sponsor.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, they're all good guys. I mean, I respect and appreciate every single one of you. I really do. There's good conversations. I feel like.
Yeah.
Really easy to talk to. Like these are just good, solid guys that start this channel to support it. I just don't think there's anybody else that can have as personal of a feel as these guys here at Coug Connect.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we're signing off. Go Cougs.